And we're back on Home Track Heroes. Steve Mortland along with Tom Glithero. Coming up next, our Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8 Season Championship Race coming up, and it is brought to you by the Buzz-In Steakhouse. For the best steaks in town, head out to Buzz-In Steakhouse for a hand-cut Angus beef steak, or check out their breakfast menu served all day. With 12 locations, there's a Buzz-In Steakhouse near you. Here's the lineup. The 13A, driven by Mr. Excitement, Steve Cox on the front row. Outside of Cox in the 78 is Michael Duncan. In the 07, Zach Bristol. And in the number 40 car, Andrew Reinders. In the 04 car, and he is in the thick of this points battle, the 04 of Jason Miller. Outside of Jason in the 57, brought to you by Gunderson Speed Shop, is Michaela Peterson.
In the fourth row, it's the double 07 of Jumbo Jimmy Powers. Outside of him in the 2 car, it's Gary Reardon in the finish line drafting and design car. He also has an in-car camera. And rounding out the Buzz-In Steakhouse field, it's the 7D of Dawson Cox and the 43 of Damon Claiborne, sponsored by Dear Old Dad.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I was out here on Saturday night, and Damon Claiborne's dad came up to me, and he goes, you know, you guys mention every week, sponsored by Dad. He goes, I don't have a dime in this thing. He goes, can you please let your listeners and viewers know Damon puts every dime of his own money into this car, which I thought was just so cool of his dad to do, and to mention that and how proud he is of his son Damon. To
keep him in racing, though, Dad will be spending it before it's over.
Keep a hand on your wallet.
That's kudos. That's really cool to know that Damon's paying his own way, as they just took the green and they headed on down into the north end for that left-hand turn.
They are coming around on our figure 8 course.
And who's leading that thing, Steve?
Well, it's Steve Cox.
Huh?
My goodness. Look at Mr. Excitement getting it done, getting into the small car. No, Michael Duncan. Steve's in the second spot. As they are coming around the south turn. That's actually turn 2 they just came out of, heading into turn number 3. If this is your first time watching Home Track Heroes, thank you for watching us, by the way, and for those of you that have been with us all season long. Got one more to go next week, but boy, we've got a lot to get to in this week's edition of Home Track Heroes here on CW11. There's a good shot of the number 40 car, nice looking car of Andrew Reinders in the 3rd spot.
You know, if you think about it, Steve Cox probably has more figure 8 experience than the entire field combined.
Yes,
right? I mean, he has done it all, and he's been very, very successful. But right now, it's Michael Duncan out front, followed by Steve Cox, Andrew Reiners, Michaela Peterson, Damon Claiborne, Dawson Cox, as you said, is working on his way towards the 2020 championship. Gary Reardon, we're going to see some in-car footage from him later. Our buddy Zach Bristol, Jimmy Powers, and Jason Miller, who's also in the points in a different car tonight. But
look at that. There he goes.
Jason Miller rounding out the field.
Yeah, and another cool kind of a battle within a battle, or a race within a race on this particular one, is for our Rookie of the Year in this division for the Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8s, and that is a pretty cool battle between Damon Claiborne and Jason Miller. So we'll kind of figure that one out as the race winds down. 40 laps, like I mentioned, make up the distance for this one. But Michael Duncan in that number 78 car with a pretty nice lead. You can see they're hovering right around the 21-second lap times. Claiborne had a pretty fast lap as we went by here, as we are working on lap number 7. They're all coming out turn 4 pretty nicely. But these long races, these are typically 15 laps, sometimes 10 or 15 laps longer than we usually get, which is always kind of a real treat for these guys, especially on championship night.
And you know, if we had a vote, which we don't, but Class of the Year probably this group right here.
I agree.
The Buzz-In Steakhouse Stinger 8s. They have put on some of the best racing we have seen. We have laughed, we have giggled, and we've oohed and awed throughout the 2020 season for these guys, and so we expect to see that again tonight. And guys, I should say guys and ladies.
Yeah, one thing I hope that we can do, and obviously you can see it was kind of a pretty low cloud cover all day, all afternoon, and all night out here, so I don't know how much drone shots, but the drone shots that have been able to be done with the figure 8 division, and this one in particular gives you an incredible view looking down, and how close, and the timing that's got to be thought about trying to get to the intersection. And it's just been, I agree 1,000%, Tom. It's just been so much fun to watch these guys all year.
Well, and you mentioned timing, but that timing involves at least 2 people. because if you're going through and you know you're not going to lift, and that other person there thinks you are going to lift, then all of a sudden you have a mess. Or
Yeah.
they lift, and you think you're going to go behind them, and you don't, you hit them. So it takes a lot of coordination of effort, and it also helps to know your competitor, which ones
does.
are going to stop, which ones will never stop.
All right, we've got a pretty interesting battle. We've got for the lead with between Michael Duncan and Damon Claiborne. You can see them there just coming into turn number 1 here on our figure 8 course. Like I mentioned, we run from the north to the south, so it's kind of weird if we tell you what corner they're in. It just really doesn't logic out, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
Left-hander, right-hander?
Yeah, there you go.
You
But
know,
it
and
did-
we talked a little bit about the Rookie of the Year battle. Right now, Damon Claiborne, who's running second, looks right now is the inside lead to be the Rookie of the Year, as Jason Miller in that 04 is running in the 8th spot. So if Miller is going to take a shot at winning that, the Rookie of the Year battle, he's going to have to get that 04 car up front a little bit closer.
Yeah, Steve Cox, as you can see, is almost a lap down because he got spun earlier on in the race as we're working lap number 14 out of 40. Buzz In Steakhouse, like I mentioned, has just been so super to get behind this class. Have been at it since day one when this one kind of came onto the schedule many years ago here at Evergreen Speedway. So thank you again to Buzz In, because couldn't do it without you.
See if you remember all the nights after the racing here at
yeah.
Evergreen Speedway, everybody heads toward the Buzz In. You
Yep.
can't find a place in the parking lot. And let's just hope in 2021, next year, we're back to the Buzz In
Yeah.
Steakhouse for a little adult beverage, just one if you're driving.
That's it.
And a steak, a burger, or a great salad.
Look at Dawson Cox working his way on the outside, trying to get around Michaela Peterson. In the 7D is Dawson Cox. You can see now he's done quite nicely to get down on the inside. Look at Gary Reardon, that old man, trying to make his way through the field as well. It was nice to visit with him the other night when I saw him out there. There's a great shot of kind of what it's like through the intersection of our figure 8 course, but good battle shaking up here. Let's see, we have got, who is that coming out of turn number 4? It's 04, and Jason Miller working around another car. So we are still about a little bit almost to the halfway point here on lap number 18 of our Buzz In Steakhouse figure 8 main event. Watching Dawson Cox work his way through the field. It looks like he got underneath, and quite nicely did so, underneath Damon Claiborne, and also got underneath Michael Duncan too. So we'll see that change as they go across our scoring loop. And there he is, your champion for 2020. All he had to do is just take the green flag, and Dawson has just been phenomenal in this division. Now let's see how he handles the old man. Now that's got to be primo on Dawson Cox's mind. Put Dad a lap down. That will go over well at Thanksgiving table. Oh, look at that! Holy cow!
Just snaked right on through there. You know,
Boy.
you're talking about the old man Gary Reardon, a ripe old 34 years of age out of Stanwood, but a lot of these kids, 16, 18, 22, 23-year-old kids. So I guess Reardon at 34 is the old man.
Gary Reardon told you he was 34 years
That's
old?
what it said.
Welcome to
I
Wonderland,
lied.
Alice.
I lied. It's 54. It was
go.
a good story.
That's awesome.
All right. Nah, I just took 20 years off.
Send your cards and letters to Tom Withrow at tomwithrow.com.
I tried. I didn't know if you'd fall for it.
He'll appreciate
You
it.
are listening to me.
I was. You say I don't. All right, here we go. Dawson Cox starting to pull away with that. Took a look down on the inside of his father, Steve, as they are just working in between lap 3 and 4. This is going to be good. Steve just hanging on valiantly. That could be just so a boost to his Cox is in the black car. Okay, thank you.
Which Cox?
Steve.
Dawson or oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Just wanna make
that's,
sure.
that's what I'm being told.
What color is
I thought-
Dawson's car?
It's red. You
Okay.
can see it right there.
All right. It's got a black stripe.
All right. These things are bound to happen.
Great battle. And, you know, like I said, we talked a little bit about it. Miller now up to 7th. Claiborne, his major competition for Rookie of the Year, still running in that number 2 spot. So Miller's moved forward 1, but we're starting to run out of laps, and he's going to have to figure out a way to get closer to the front. Otherwise, Damon Claiborne will be 2020 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and that is kind of a pretty nice plaque to hang on your wall.
And you know what? Because you can only be the Rookie of the Year
right.
one time. You can win 10 championships. That can be old.
Yep.
You can only be the Rookie of the Year one time.
All right, here's your rundown with 15 laps to go. Dawson Cox in the 7D is your leader, the 43 of Damon Claiborne. In the second spot, Michael Duncan in the 78, shown in third. Michaela Peterson having a good run in the fourth spot in her number 57 car. 34 years young, Gary Reardon in the 2 car. In spot number 5, Zach Bristol, one of the great guys you'd ever want to meet. And behind the wheel of his 07, the 04 of Jason Miller, the 007 of Jim Powers, the number 40 of Andrew Reinders, and the 13A of Steve Cox, who is 4 laps down. So we'll try and find them as they go. While we've got a few seconds here before we wrap this up, a couple of get well messages, if we may. This past weekend, as we are recording this, was Fall Classic over at Yakima Speedway. We want to send out a couple get well messages to a couple of people that are pretty close to Tom and I. One is our friend Mitch Klein out of Spokane.
Out of Quincy.
That's right, out of Quincy. And he banged up pretty good in the Fall Classic. And the prognosis, he's going to be fine.
Yep.
And the other one is a guy who's pretty near and dear to a lot of people's hearts out here at Evergreen Speedway. A legend in the figure 8 division from years ago, and the guy who has sold parts all year long and has sold fuel for many years, and that's our friend Rick Hager, who had an accident inside of his truck, I believe. A compressor fell on him, messed up
both of his legs.
Both of his legs.
When I heard Rick Hager, I thought, oh my God, he came out of retirement for the 15th time. But yeah, it just shows you that anything can happen at a racetrack. Mitch Klein, involved in a very, very tough accident on the front straightaway, hit the front straightaway wall, has a back injury and a fairly badly damaged foot. Here's some great in-car.
Yeah, look
See
at
Gary
this.
Reardon working that outside groove in that empty grandstand here at Evergreen Speedway. And this!
Oh, good job, Gary, trying to avoid hitting Dawson Cox in the 7D. But anyways, get well, guys.
Yeah.
Rick, and we're hopefully we'll see you soon, and looking forward to having you back out here. Just helping out everybody in the pits and done such a phenomenal job. And Mitch, we know you're tough, and you're a wily veteran. You'll get back out into your super late model anyway. So get well, guys, and we will see you next season. All right, here we go. We are still 8 laps to go to round out our season championship for our Buzz In Steakhouse Stinger 8s. It's still Dawson Cox, as it has been pretty much all season long. There's number 43. You see him going through the intersection right there, Damon Claiborne, with Michael Duncan in spot number 3. Lap times staying about pretty consistent all race long, which is pretty cool to see.
Well, as you can see, Claiborne in that second spot, just a 2-point lead over Miller, who is currently running 5th. So they're running out of laps. Miller's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat if he wants to be the Rookie of the Year this year. But this isn't over, because the intersection could change it all in a big hurry. But
it can.
Right now, Cox, of course, has that championship sewed up. Claiborne would be in the number 2 spot in points, and also the Rookie of the Year.
Coming up later on Home Track Heroes here on CW11, we will conclude our season for the Frank's Radio Service Outlaw Figure 8 division. A pretty decent field of cars we have coming up for you for their 40-lap feature later on in the show, along with our Northwest Motorsports Street Stocks, finishing up their season and rounding out the season, the Granite Super Sprint cars here on the 3/8s that are just so much fun to watch. But right now, it is all about our Buzz In Steakhouse Stinger 8s, as it's getting a little bit dicey. It's kind of calmed down a bit, I should say, at the intersection as the laps are winding down. They're going to have 3 to go this time by.
It's still Cox, Claiborne, Duncan, Peterson, and Miller. Keep your eye on Claiborne in the 43 car and Miller in the 04 car. That's where the battle is for that second spot in points. And as I've said numerous times before, also the Rookie of the Year battle.
All right, here we go. They should see the white flag when that number 7D cars come around, and you can see as it's getting underneath the car there, just coming out of turn number 2. You should see the white flag from the bravest flag man in race. Oh, that almost changed things around, didn't it? All right, here comes the 7D out of turn number 4, and the white flag is flying. The turn 2 camera picked that one up, and the rest of the field will take the white flag. Meanwhile, coming out of turn number 2, couple more to go for your champion.
Big gaggle of cars going down in that south end to the right-hander, huh?
All right, here comes the champ. The champ is here. He takes the checkered flag. Dawson Cox in the number 7D car, one of the busier human. Oh,
Whoa!
look at that, man. That was impressive. The 57 of Michaela Peterson decided to move a Ute tire around, and we'll get an instant replay shot of that coming up here. We'll see how they'll go. This ought to be cool.
Steve, I think that just changed the points battle right there. The last corner, the last lap. Oh, whoa. I think this changed the whole complexion after 39 and a half laps for the whole season.
Gotta tell you, for 32 years old, Gary Reardon has some really good reflexes. All right, we're gonna bring our top 3 and our champion up. You can see him doing the burnout to our Angel of the Winds winners platform to visit with Brandy Chavez.
Your 2020 Rookie of the Year for Stinger Figure Eights, Jason Miller. Congratulations. Walk me through this incredible season you've had.
It has been an incredible season. You know, we got COVID and everything going on, and there's been a lot of carnage, and I wrecked a car, and engine trouble has been ongoing. I'm very grateful to be Rookie of the Year, even it's a small margin, but I'll take it.
And what was the thing that you learned most about the most dangerous intersection in the Northwest?
Patience, believe it or not. Patience, and there's a lot of luck, I think. You know, there's a lot of skill in it too, but you know, you got to have patience and some skill and a lot of luck. You know, and you don't really know what the other driver's going to do. You can read them only so much, and then you know, if they change their mind at the last minute, you know, it's tough to call sometimes. So that's what makes it fun.
All right, and who do you want to shout out for this season you've had?
My wife, Amy, and Calvin. You know, Jordan and my kids. They've been great. They've been there all the time, and wife supports us 100%, and she has a lot of fun with it, and hope to keep going with it and get Calvin into a different class and get him racing too, you know, and street stocks I believe we're going to start next year with him. So it'll be an exciting year next year.
All right, Jason Miller, your Rookie of the Year for Stinger Figure Eights. All right, second place in your Stinger Figure Eight tonight, Damon Claiborne. Walk me through that race.
It was a bit of a rough one there at the beginning. Caught a good break, had kind of a stack up happen in front of me, and was able to pick up a couple spots right away. Kind of got stuck behind the 78 car there for a bit. They had to drive him pretty hard to get around him, and in doing so, Dawson was able to get by both of us. And after he got by, I finally got around him, and I was trying to chase Dawson down, and unfortunately came across another lap car. It took both of us a while to get around, but you know, finally I got around him, and I was pretty excited, looking like I was going to take second in points and Rookie of the Year. I was sitting second place, and I could see the leaderboard. Jason was back in fifth, and last lap, Michaela Peterson got into the Uke tire, unfortunately, and hopefully she's okay. It looked like it was a pretty hard hit, but it allowed Jason to skirt from fifth to third, and there went my second and Rookie of the Year. So unfortunately, that's just the breaks of it, and Jason did a fantastic job driving this year, and he deserves it. So.
All right, who do you want to thank for getting you out to the track tonight?
I want to thank Reardon, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Raymond Monroe. They're spectacular. They let me work on the car there. Brandy Hood Promotions, she's awesome. Have any vinyl t-shirts you want done by her. Downrange Woodworks, Central Welding Supply, my wife, my dad, everybody that supports me out here and, you know, eggs me on to do what I love to do. So.
All right, Damon Claiborne comes home in second place tonight. All right, your 2020 Figure Eight points champion for this year in the Stingers, the 7D of Dawson Cox. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a fun season. I wasn't going into the season trying to shoot for this or anything. Like the second race in, my late models were going to run the same weekend as Stingers, and I'm like, I don't really want to run the same night. And my friend Cody Hoops ran it that night and won. He's like, so at that point I kind of had to keep up the momentum. We were doing so good, and then later in the season I had to have Brandon Limburg drive for me, and he won in it, so we kept going, and this is where we ended up. We had a good season. We ran fast and had fun. Yeah, so I really got to thank Cody Hoops and Brandon Limburg for driving the car for me on those weekends that I couldn't. It goes a long ways knowing that they would do that for me. And then I got to thank everyone that's helped me get here and helped me with my racing career in general. Dave Riddell, always there, great mechanic and helping us and setting up the car. He's good at that. And my dad, he's there every week helping, John Bender, everyone. Just, it goes a long ways to me knowing that they do that stuff for me, so that's super cool.
All right, now this is going to be somewhat fun for me because this is your first year winning a championship being 21. So you get champagne this year. Congratulations, Dawson, your 2020 Stinger Figure 8 champion.
Don't point it.
Woo!
There you go.
This is the first time I didn't get sprayed in the face. So.